try this again. Chapter 4, The Trick to Money is Having Some, the Cliff Notes by Stuart Wilde. In chapter 1, we talked about beginning to see energy as something you can build and then can be converted into cash or love or opportunity in the physical world. And how in chapter 2 we talked about how to create a personal vision for yourself outside of the masses' way of thinking, and how to separate yourself and build your own personal energy. Chapter 3 we elaborated on that, the acceptance of yourself, the realization of your spiritual self actually opens up the flow of positive occurrences to happen. And in chapter 4, which we're going to be talking about today, is when they show up, you build them. I'm going to be working with a formula throughout this chapter. And the formula goes as it's 8,670 hours in a year. And what you do is have a yearly financial goal that you have for yourself. And I just picked a random number, just say $100,000 in a year. And so divided by how many hours is in a year, 8,670, that's $11 an hour. And since we're thinking of wealth, we're not thinking about just 8 hours or 16 hours. We're thinking about making money 24 hours throughout the day. So $11 an hour for 24 hours, that would get me $100,000 in a year. So if I got goods or services, that would be my target. If I had like a hourly company or my services, I would know how to charge for my service based upon the time that I was going to spend. That'd be $273 a day. $1,869 a week. So I know how much money that I need to generate within a week to reach my goal, between my job, between my side hustles, between my multiple job or multiple side hustles and things of that nature. But then we're going to get into how do we accomplish that by charging people, or why we may not be reaching our financial goals because we don't really charge people, because we really don't value our time, right? It's kind of awkward if I'm going to use this example, and I'm going to come back to this example. If somebody asks you for a ride and they're your friend, you don't charge them for a ride, you just give them a ride out of love. But that's costing you. But we won't get into that. So it is really like how you would personally feel if you were to charge somebody. And you would feel that way because you don't have this knowledge of how to evaluate your time. Also, you may feel as though you're taking advantage of people by charging them, but the reality is, if you're doing stuff for people and you're not charging them, then they're taking advantage of you. And you're giving, you're not receiving, so you're out of balance. It would be a question is of, would you work for free? Would you just go to your job and not get nothing in return? So with that being said, you're giving them your time and they are giving you money. And we'll get into that too. But if you ever in a situation where you're giving your time and you're not getting nothing out of it, that's going to take you out of a personal positive viewpoint of yourself. So if ever you're expending your energy without getting nothing in return, whether it be now or in the future, eventually all of those times that you gave, they'll add up, and they'll be the weight that's actually dragging you down, or will be the ceiling for which that you have these limiting beliefs, because you've given and not receiving, so you can't really imagine living a life of receiving. And also understand that the ego that has you going through this is because that ego doesn't want to change. And, honestly, if you were to charge somebody for a ride, like I said, then you would be like, Uber. Because a person would pay Uber $10 for a ride, but won't give you anything. That's because Uber has value because they actually charging. Your boy who asks you for a ride every day to work and don't pay you and keep asking you every day because you don't never charge him, he's using your energy and your time, because you could be using that time investing in yourself, creating wealth for yourself, but instead you're giving him a ride, taking an hour out of your day because you got to take 15 minutes to pick him up, another 20 minutes to drop him off, and then another 35 minutes to get back home. So you spent a whole hour where you could have been investing in yourself. And understand that the higher your prices are, the more respected, the more value that you attach to your product. And if you are going to constantly do the ride, like I said, he's just going to want more rides because they're free, and he's not going to value the rides. He's not going to think about anything but, using your time and using your energy, and you're the one that's going to be at a loss at the end of that. And also understand how you play the part in the fact that there are many businesses all selling the same thing, and it's certain people that you deal with, it's certain people that you don't deal with, it's certain people that you're drawn to. This happens all the time. So all you got to do is put yourself in that flow, insert yourself in that flow. And once you into that flow, through personal acceptance, through understanding that your spirit, which we talked about in chapter 3, this adds to your personal energy, and you are a conductor of energy now. If you're building your energy, that brings more energy into your life. You don't clear your mind and meditate upon energy and not receive results. But what you do is project fear and project, negative thoughts and deal with that too. And a lot of times we take our situation and make it everybody's situation based on whether you a man, you're black, a woman, white, feminist, liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, independent. All of these, we feel as though we all share a same viewpoint or a same thought process. And this is done by design. But you can never project your lack onto other people. Like we talked about in chapter 3, your perception of life is your perception. So once you control your perception, once you remove the limits, then there's nothing that anybody can tell you. Once you accept yourself, once you understand that you're a spirit, that you're infinite, that you're forever, that this body is just an instrument to which you experience life, and that you can determine the life that you want to live by tapping into that spirit and understanding that relationship between mind, body, and soul, nothing can stop you. So let's continue on and talk to the part of you that's just happy with everything that you have and not taking advantage of every opportunity daily that presents you with, to receive, to being open, to understanding, to creating that energy daily, putting forth the energy daily. Like not being the person that say nobody said hi to me today, but being the person that says hi to everybody. It's a big difference in that. Because we speaking in the realms of financial prosperity, in the realms of commercialism or, goods and services. So there's no 8-hour, 10-hour block where you can make money. You actually can make money 24 hours a day. People can inquire about your business 24 hours a day. So a good way to work with the subconscious mind is to wake up to emails, to orders, things of that nature. Even messages of people inquiring about your products and services. Because when you get into that metaphysical practice of thinking about things as you go to sleep and waking up into those things, and you keep building upon that, you start to realize how powerful your subconscious mind is. So you begin to engage it almost daily. Not almost daily, definitely daily. And you try to engage it as much as you can. But so, as we dealing with the different reasons as to why charging people makes us comfortable or uncomfortable. And now if you start to value your time and you start to value your energy, then you understand why charging is so important. But we just peeling back the layers, so we get to this point where maybe it's very subconscious, and it's the fear, especially if we have an idea, or if we have a service, or if we have a product, and trying to find a price point. You find that price point by dealing with 8,670 hours in a year, divided by how much money you're trying to make, divided by how much product you got, or how much product you can receive, or the service, or how many hours you're going to be doing the service. You understand, you don't sell yourself short. But I think ultimately that the fear is that we lose business by charging a lot of money for our products. But I'm going to tell you a reality. Business is about charging. That's the reason why businesses is successful. Say that 3 times fast. Because they charge people money. That's why they're successful. They deal with energy, and they have advertisers that pay them, or they pay advertisers. Either or. It's a way of generating energy and generating eyeballs. People buy Rolls Royces every day. People check into 5-star hotels. People eat expensive meals every single day. And you can get into that flow, but maybe you're not aware or even thinking that you could even reach levels like that. But you need to get out of your surroundings. Because if your surroundings is suffering from a lack of quality, then how would you project that? You only going to project more lack. You're only going to buy more things that further keep you bounded and bonded into that society. Because if you think about like people that's in the hood, like you got these like hood gas stations and corner stores and liquor stores and litter everywhere. That's not because the people is trashy and things of that nature, because you put them same people in a nice environment, and then that thing don't even happen like that. So it's by design. And the design is to create a lower vibration in a group population aura, flooded with drugs, flooded with guns, and see these people. It keeps police in business, it keeps judges in business, it keeps attorneys in business, and it keeps jails in business. See, this system has been created, and you niggas fall for the trap. So it is best to understand that all this shit is a game. So if that's the game you want to play, know that it's like they got you in a maze and you just a rat, and they experimenting on you. That's why it's called the projects. And it's still going on. But in order to change your vibration, you got to go to places that inspire you, places that raise your aura, and you got to get into spiritual work. You got to cleanse the aura. You got to understand what the aura is. You got to understand your subconscious mind and how it just replicates what it sees. So you got to see different things. It's really not about good or bad. It's really about balancing out your energy. So if you are constantly in suburbs and you still find yourself unhappy, maybe you need to roll through the hood with your doors locked and really not stopping at stop signs to get that adrenaline rush, to get that ideas going. Like, you gotta really, like, if you just always in the hood, then, like, instead of getting a $40 hotel, get the $150 hotel for a night. See what it feels like. Instead of getting the Southwest airline, get the Delta airline, Instead of getting the cheapest rental car you can get, get the, Mercedes rental for the weekend. You out of town? Just create that image, that aura around you. Like, feel good about yourself. And if you keep doing cheap stuff, and then you want to create wealth for yourself, then you're going to think that everybody thinks like you. And that's not true. Everybody got their own perception of reality. You don't know how many Facebook friends that you got are millionaires, 100,000 years with expendable energy, and they're just waiting for positive energy to come across their feed so they can invest. They sit online all day. Ever since the internet came out, People been sitting online just buying shit. You need to understand that and see where you fit into how to build up your energy. And there's millions of places that you can place yourself, but I can't tell you exactly where to put your energy, but you can definitely align with yourself, build up your energy. If you got a craft, if you know that people is buying something and you know that you're good at it, if you're an artist, if you're a poet, if you're an artist, like a singer, rapper, like there's so many ways to make money independently without, nobody helping you. You could do it all yourself. But you gotta build up your energy and you gotta invest your time and energy in creating that wealth for yourself in that realm that you specialize in, right? There's no limit to what people can give you in this age. Say for instance, you teach a class and the first week you get 20 people, but your class is so bomb and the information is so exclusive, your next semester you get 100 people. And the information, they tell more people, and now you got a waiting list, but you don't really need a waiting list. You could literally hold a class for 1,000 people based on the internet being such a vast machine. I mean, you could build your energy up to that point is what I'm saying. And there's really no limit to how many people you can teach and how many people you can reach, how many seminars you can put out, how many workshops you can put together. There's no limit. How many readings you could do, how many websites you can create, how much real estate you could purchase, how much real estate you could sell. You could sell 2 houses a day at $10,000 profit every day of the year. If you put yourself in that position, it's happening. People selling 10 houses a day. And they just like you. They not no smarter, no better than you. They just understood energy and they kept building on their energy and they figured out what they could do and what they was good at, and they didn't let nobody take them out of that. And they chose wealth over friendship. Understand that. And if you got what it takes and you got 5-star reviews, then the price shouldn't affect you at this point. And understand that your time is valuable, and understand that you got to include yourself in all business negotiations, meetings, and transactions and conversations. You shouldn't leave out of there without including yourself, because you realize that your time is valuable. You realize that you don't got an hour or a day to waste in this game. And you realize it's not a competition, only with yourself. And what you gonna get out of serving the whole entire world and not doing nothing for yourself? And it's not to say that your whole life is about making money. It's a real simple formula to this. In your personal life, with your girlfriend, with your wife, with your children, with your mom, brother and sisters, you're a sweet, warm, and doting and providing person. But in business, you in business, and you shrewd, and you understand the flow of energy is give, I give to receive, I receive to give, and I'm on this flow, and I'm on this train, and I'm building energy, and don't try to take me off of my flow. And also understand that the idea of fair is anything that you and your customer agree to. You could charge somebody a reading for $10, the same reading you can give to another person for $300, and they both right and exact because y'all both agreed to the price. But understanding your energy, your time, and its value is very important to abundant and really valuing your time, yourself, and your energy. And you doing less than what you're worth. You doing less than what you're worth is what's blocking you. And understanding that it's not like these people are giving you money anyways. You created the paradigm before you even entered the medium of exchange of doing commercial transactions, or even you already set in your mind that you had the goal to make $1 million this year anyways. So It's not like they're giving you money. You just living out your manifestation. You create in this paradigm with your mindset first. Because when you charging and you invest in energy and people is giving you money, you creating positive energy for yourself no matter what nobody say. And people going to say, oh, whatever. Because they not going to live the life with you. You're going to have to do this on your own. And really, even understanding, like I was saying earlier, you don't know who on your Facebook page is a millionaire. You don't know who's trying to invest on you. And there's millions of people in this world that don't care about the price. Believe it or not. Just because, like, that's what I'm saying. You projecting your lack on other people. Therefore, you think that nobody want to spend $50 on a bracelet. When this dude is ready to spend 2 G's on a bracelet. Because it's handmade and authentic. It has all this positive energy in it. And he's buying it from you. That's the most important thing. But maybe you don't feel that way. Maybe you feel unimportant, right? And then that's what we got to really deal with, how to create that sense of self-worth. We talked about that in chapter 3. You've never seen a restaurant with good food, good service, clean environment not do good. People with good food, they always make money. Now, if you're making good food or you think you're making good food and nobody's dealing with you, then you know what you're dealing with. Because that don't take no effort to put some food together. And think about all the places where the food is just trash and they making money. That's telling you, right? That's a key right there. How you can just, like, it's so, we need good food everywhere. I don't care where you at. Food be whack. Period. It be all tasting weird with all chemicals, GMOs. If you came through with some organic, fresh food, quick service, good, you would make money. You create that good experience. They'll be happy that they paid $10 for an organic meal instead of paying $8 for some shit that put them to sleep. And you'll get more customers. But you got to be around people that's abundant, that understand this concept of abundance. If you're around people that all they thinking about is spending money and income tax and, paychecks and I'm broke, I'm tired of not having money and this, that, and the third, then that's what you going to recreate in your mind. And in your mind, you're going to think that you have to live this way. So... And that's another thing about identifying the ego, because the ego is always wanting to be in this certain mental space, even though it brings you pain, even though it's not pleasant. And we need to understand the energy between being successful and being unsuccessful, because successful people, they got that bounce with them. They got that energy with them. You can see it on them. They there, and they don't give a shit about what you got to say, and you can barely talk to them because they understand energy, and they ain't about to waste their energy on you trying to belittle them or figure out what's wrong with them or what evil is they doing. They know that if they create this energy and they got this flow, they get more energy. The better you do, the better you do, the better you do. But if we don't got no focus and we worried about our friends and we worried about our family and what they think, then we don't know how close we really are to really cracking the ceiling open to prosperity. How we can just have money coming in hand over fist if we just align with ourselves and our spirit, because that's what we carry throughout this whole lifetime. All these people, they come, they go. They don't sleep in your bed with you. You got to live with yourself every single day. So it's time to deal with yourself. At this point, we realize now that currency is just simply energy. And once we get our energy back, then we start to control our own currency, because we doing things that we love and we doing things that exhibit strong energy. And it's really igniting a change in us and others. As we raise our energy, we raise our currency. And by this point, you should be comfortable by charging people for your time and your energy, because you realize how valuable your time is. So you're doing your research, you're doing your due diligence, you're doing your paperwork, you're putting out promotional ads, you're trying to network, you're trying to do some shit that's going to better your situation. And the more you do that, you get stronger and the easier it becomes. But chapter 5, we talk about how to really get into building energy for real, for real. For real, for real. Because we realize that energy is currency, and that the more we build our energy, the more currency we get. So it's been a journey, but I hope y'all been rocking with me so far. So we gonna knock this out, and definitely tomorrow we gonna deal with chapter 5 out of 11. But with that being said, I'm out. See you tomorrow.